nice laugh, are you?
Australian legends!
Hey!
Sir, can you knock?
What's up, everyone? Adam from FWCI. This is Inception Pitch Meeting from Ryan George. I finally watched it. I had never seen this movie until very recently, and I enjoyed the hell out of it. It's one of those movies that you think about a lot after you finish watching it, for obvious reasons, but just from a standard filmmaking perspective as well, I loved it. There's just so much good stuff that they put into that movie. It was totally engaging the whole way, and I've got nothing but good things to say about it. So, very curious to see what Ryan George has to say about Inception, because I know this was a very, very popular movie. It was like kind of like the joke version of like the middle-aged white guy movie fanboy, like, you love Inception. That was like the punchline for it. So as that stereotype myself, I really needed to get around to watching this, and glad I did. But make sure you subscribe here on YouTube, and if you do want 2 weeks early access to all my movie reactions, go to patreon.com/FWCI. But let's jump into the Inception pitch meeting, and we'll talk about the movie after this as well, because there's a lot to unpack. And honestly, I do a pretty big breakdown in my reaction to it, but we'll still have a chat. But let's jump in. Inception pitch meeting. Ryan George, let's go.
So, you have a movie for me?
Yes, sir, I do. You're gonna love this one. Hans Zimmer is already on board.
That's a good sign. He's great.
Yeah, I mean, he only just started working on it, but he has some great stuff already.
Oh, I bet. What'd he come up with?
I like the sound of that. We should put it in every action movie trailer for the next decade.
That sounds great to me, sir. So what's this movie?
Wow, so Inception was the beginning of the in trailers. I love it, because that is something that, yeah, has really, really stuck around.
Movie about? What's got Zimmer all riled up?
Well, sir, this whole movie's gonna be about dreams.
Oh, very exciting.
Last night I dreamt I was a balloon. Oh, I mean, okay.
Yeah, it was a ton of fun.
And then suddenly frightening. Anyway, maybe that could be in the dream movie.
Oh, absolutely not that kind of dream movie, sir.
Okay, I mean, that is a riveting dream idea, though. So what kind of dreams are gonna be in this movie?
You know what? That's not a bad dream idea. I feel like it's perfect for like the Twilight Zone or something. I'm hearing what you're saying there, producer guy. I hear that.
Movie. Well, the movie's gonna be about this guy, Dom Cobb, and his team, right?
Okay, and what's their deal?
Well, they like build these shared dream worlds that they extract information from.
How does that work? Well, I'm glad you asked. Oh, why are you taking a deep breath?
So the team
Oh, that inhale is absolutely perfect. Oh my god. Oh, good work.
From.
How does that work? Well, I'm glad you asked. Oh, why are you taking a deep breath?
So the team brings a dreamer into a dream world built by an architect, and then the dreamer fills that world up with projections of their subconscious, which are essentially just people walking around. But if you change things too much, projections will get angry and attack you. And also, you can't build places based on real places, because then it's hard to know what the real world is and what's the dream world. And so they get information by placing safes in the dream, which dreamers automatically fill with their secrets. Or sometimes you can get information by just talking to projections. Oh, and also you need a totem to keep your grasp on what's a dream and what's not. Essentially, it's like a little thing that only you're allowed to touch.
Sorry, don't want to cut you off, but little things that only you're allowed to touch are tight. Okay, keep going.
Okay, yeah, sure. And also to wake up from a dream, a timer has to run out. Or you need to die in the dream, or you can also wake up with a kick, which is a jolting sensation of falling, or sometimes of hitting the water. We're going to be slightly inconsistent on that.
Wow, okay, so that is a whole lot of information.
It sure is, sir. That's why 80% of the movie is going to be characters explaining the movie to each other.
That'll probably help. So what are we calling this movie?
Yeah, that is basically what this entire movie is. It's just a big old exposition journey, and you fucking need it because it's a crazy concept, and I loved it.
Extraction? No, actually, it's going to be called Inception.
I thought they extracted information from dreams.
Normally they do, but on the job in this movie, they're going to be implanting an idea into somebody's mind.
Maybe we should just call it Dream Squad, you know, cover all our bases.
Oh, definitely not.
Dream
Dream Buddies Dream Team? Oh, I would just love to stick with Inception, sir. Well, okay then. So what's this idea they need to implant? Well, this super rich business guy, Sato, he wants to get his competitor, Fisher, to dissolve his father's empire. Okay. And he promises to get all of Cobb's charges dropped, so of course Cobb says yes. Wait, what are Cobb's charges? Well, his wife Moll was convinced that they were still in a dream, so she frames him for her death, so he has no choice but to kill himself too. Oh, how does she do that? She has herself declared sane by 3 psychiatrists, and she files a report saying that Cobb threatened to kill her, and then she jumps out a frickin' window. Oh no. Of the building across the street from where...
Okay, am I the only one that thinks it is very suspicious that some person would randomly get themselves declared sane by 3 psychiatrists just before they jumped out of a window? I don't know. Am I the only one that thinks that that is highly unusual?
Where Cobb is standing. Well, I mean, it'd be pretty simple to prove he didn't do it then, right? Just check the security footage of the building he's in at the time of death. Yeah, well, maybe it's all a dream, who knows? Oh my god, what? Anyway, so Cobb is on the run in Europe, and all he wants is to see his kids again. Well, too bad he doesn't know anyone that could fly them to Europe. Well, his dad could, I guess. He flies back and forth a lot, but he's not gonna. Why not? So the movie can happen. Okay, gotcha. So how does Inception work?
That's a good point. Why didn't they just bring his kids to him in Europe? Ryan George, this is why you get paid the big bucks.
So how does Inception work anyway? So to perform Inception, they need to have multi-level dreams, like dreams within dreams. And it's best if the idea they're trying to plant comes from a father figure and there's some time dilation between the levels of the dreams, so time stretches out further the deeper you go, and to wake up you need a chain of synchronized kicks on all the levels at once, which you can synchronize by playing music in the ears of the dreamers. Okay, cool, got it. Really? I don't know. Anyway, so this guy Sato...
Yeah, no, they explained it really well. I give them praise for that.
Says that if Cobb is successful, he makes a single phone call and the charges are dropped. A very powerful business guy. So Cobb needs an architect, so he gets his dad to recommend one of his students. Who does he end up with? This girl Ariadne, and let me tell you, he puts her skills to the test before hiring her. How does he do that? He asks her to draw a maze in 2 minutes that takes 1 minute to solve. Well, what does that have to do with anything? And she does. Oh, she does? Okay, yeah, that's impressive. Okay, get her on the dream team. Yeah, and so because she's new, now the characters have someone to explain things to nonstop. That's smart. So they're gonna teach her all about building dream worlds. She's gonna do crazy stuff like fold a city in half. Well, so I imagine we're gonna have a bunch of mind-bending action stuff when they start the job, huh? Actually, not a ton of it. No, every dream's gonna look like a generic James Bond level. Oh. Well, they don't want Fisher to realize he's dreaming, you know? There is gonna be an amazing gravity-related hallway thing, though. Oh, there is? That sounds fun. Yeah, because in one dream level, a van flips over, and, you know, that messes up the whole gravity of the level below it. Wouldn't a van flipping count as a kick? Apparently not. I wouldn't the gravity shift for all the levels below it too? Apparently not. Well, okay then. Anyway, so when they get in the dream,
all good questions there. Yeah, I thought that was going to be like the thing that kicked. Although, with that being said, Yusuf does turn around and go, woof. So I guess that was kind of a part of the tension and the drama.
Turns out that Fisher has his subconscious trained for this kind of thing. Oh, what does that mean? Well, it means his projections are in full-on defense mode. I mean, they have guns and occasionally they hit their targets. But I mean, if the characters die, they just wake up, right? No, not anymore. What? Why not? Well, I need the
sedatives.
Now, so they're all sedated, and if they die, they go to this place called Limbo that messes your mind up. Oh, that doesn't sound good, so what do? Well, they try real hard to stay alive. This guy Arthur is shooting at projections and stuff. Okay. And this guy Eames pops in with a grenade launcher like, you mustn't be afraid to dream a little bigger, dog.
Yeah, you mustn't be afraid to dream a little bigger, darling. So what, they can make whatever the fuck they want? Can you make the, was it the shark gun from Saints Row or the dildo gun from Saints Row?
Darling. So if they can conjure stuff up in the dream, why not conjure up some bulletproof vests or an armored car? Well, I told you, if they draw too much attention to themselves, the projections attack them. But the projections are already attacking them. Oh, whoops. Whoopsie. So anyway, they're gonna keep going on with the
Yeah, but that gets worse and worse and worse. It wasn't until I was editing that I realized that's why there's a whole bunch of dudes just rioting in the street at the very, very beginning of the movie. They're coming for that dude.
And Moll is gonna keep popping up and ruining stuff. Like she makes a train show up, she kills Fisher and sends him to Limbo. Oh, very rude. And so eventually Sato and Fisher are both down in Limbo, and Ariadne and Cobb, they go down to get them. Wow, so if dying sends you to Limbo, it must be impossible to get out of Limbo. Actually, it's gonna be super easy. Barely an inconvenience. Oh, really? Yeah, because when you're down there, you either ride the kick up or you die. Both of those will wake you up. Oh, okay, so it's just another level then. With a lot of time distortion and a fun little name. Limbo
Dumbo is a pretty fun name.
So Ariadne and Fisher, they ride the kick up, but Cobb goes to try to find Sato.
Okay.
But since Sato's been down there a while, he's all old now.
Oh, interesting.
So we're gonna have to make the actor look much older than he actually is. Is that something we can do?
Oh, we have some great prosthetics. We can make him look like a very old Muppet.
Did you say Muppet?
I might have. Who's to say?
So then the plane that they're doing this whole thing on lands in America, and Cobb gets into the country no problem thanks to Sato's help.
Won't it take several months to know if the Inception actually worked or not?
Yep, but the movie's almost over, so let's pretend like that's not the case.
Well, I do like pretending.
And then Cobb gets home and he spins his top totem, because if it falls, that means he's not dreaming. But then he sees his kid, so he doesn't even check it.
Oh, so does it fall? Is he still dreaming?
It's gonna slightly wobble, and then we're gonna cut to black.
So maybe he's still dreaming? Maybe he's still dreaming. Wow.
Or maybe the whole movie was a dream.
Oh, yeah, right.
Or maybe he never actually returned to the US and Sato just put him in a dream with his kids.
Oh, right.
Or maybe it doesn't actually mean anything because his real totem is his wedding ring.
Oh, please stop.
This is never gonna stop.
Oh, well, at least people will be talking about the movie a lot, and hey, if they are, maybe...
Hang on a fucking second. You just dropped a lot on me there, Ryan George. What do we got?
Or maybe he never actually returned to the US and Sato just put him in a dream with his kids.
Oh.
How is Sato doing that? That one doesn't make any sense.
Oh, right.
Or maybe it doesn't actually mean anything because his real totem is his wedding ring.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, that feels accurate because, yeah, it wasn't his totem, it was Mole's totem, but he was using it. So, yeah, maybe that didn't have any relevance to that. Alright, fucking hell, give me more questions.
Please stop.
This is never gonna stop.
Oh, well, at least people will be talking about the movie a lot, and hey, if they are, maybe we can make an even more complicated movie in the future.
That sounds good to me.
What the fuck? Tenet's story is so complex, even the actors had trouble understanding it. Do I need to watch Tenet's story? It sounds complicated. So I love the time fuckery of that movie in particular. Like the further you go down, the longer time becomes. Just the whole concept of that it adds stakes because you've got these people, and my understanding is when they come out of the dreams, they retain all of that conscious information that they've lived for 50 years. So Dom is really a 100-year-old man, like mentally, in terms of like what he's lived and experienced timeline-wise and the details and stuff like that. So it's a pretty out there concept. And honestly, I feel like this should have been a movie, first of all, about stealing thoughts from somebody's brain, and then the sequel should have been about going in and doing the implanting. I don't know, I feel like there's easily 2 movies worth of content here, and I'm surprised that we've never had a sequel to Inception, just because the world and the concept that they built in there is so interesting and has so much possibility. It's kind of surprising that it's just been limited to this one movie. I'm sure there's been a whole bunch of like knockoff versions of this over the years, and I don't know when Black Mirror first came out, if that was before this or around the same time, but I got a lot of Black Mirror vibes from certain elements of Inception for sure. And the acting was great. The cast was really good. The way the story was constructed and told. Hyper complex story, very easy to understand. I liken it to Everything Everywhere All at Once, just in terms of being able to allow the audience to easily follow the story and then take on other, elements that they pick up as well without being overwhelmed by trying to just understand the science of, what's going on. But of all the movies that Ryan George has shredded to pieces, I'm sure this is the one that's going to create the most kind of conversation in the comments, and I want to hear all of your theories. I want to hear what you think about this movie, and make sure you do check out the reaction to Inception as well, because I'm quite proud of my capacity to understand what was going on. I know there's probably still some stuff that I didn't quite get the first go around, but this was really complicated, and I'm not the best with sci-fi or fantasy and stuff like that, especially on a first time watching. So I was happy that I was able to really follow the plot. So shout out to Christopher Nolan for making this movie and making it complicated enough for me to sort of obsess about, but simple enough for me to actually follow and understand. And shout out to Ryan George as well, because he's goddamn hilarious. So let me know in the comments what you thought about all of this. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and go to patreon.com/FWCI if you want to support the channel a little bit further. And as always, everyone, be well, stay safe, look after your friends, see you in the next video. Peace.